Okay, we can start. Mm, Give me a second. Yeah, all right. Hi guys. Thank you for joining. I'll just like briefly explain like what this whole thing is about and why I thought about this. And I kind of expected more people to join, but it's fine. I'm also recording it side by side, so they can see the recording. All right. Like a lot of juniors, and like from first years all the way around your third years, they have been like asking like how to solve and what to solve and kind of all that. So even after you know like what do you have to solve or where do you have to go, it's like how do I say, if you don't understand a problem, it's very hard to read the editorial and get the intuition, and then like even like say I was trying to understand a topic, say dynamic programming, and took me like around complete a year to understand like how to write it effectively, like what are the tricks and sort behind it. So unless you have a very good guidance or something, like unless you can like come and tell you like okay, this is the mistake or you can optimize things here, it's not like you can still, you'll be still able to learn things, but it's not so easy or so fluid to do that alone, right? And I see a lot of juniors, and I kind of feel sorry for you because right now in our college, like the whole DSA thing is not a lot promoted, right? There's no like a very good roadmap or very good roadmap of seniors who can like come and guide you. Like in other colleges, I have known people like seniors who take weekend classes or something, and they teach juniors around basic DSA topics, right, for placements and stuff. So I am kind of wanting to replicate something like that. And again, to like if I was not wanting to take a lot of people because it will be very hard to monitor you. And if I just do like if I just take people, teach you something, then give you problems and leave it, will be just like how you are it'll be just like watching a YouTube video, right? You're just listening to it, you saw problems, okay, I'll do it sometime. But I am planning to both monitor you, okay? So I'll have few things set up that we'll talk later. So with that, I'll be monitoring you, I'll be having your numbers and all. So you can even expect calls, and we'll have a sheet, we'll call it a tracker sheet. I have used that in clubs, GDAC CP clubs department. So with all that, I'll be tracking your progress as well. And uh, this goes without saying that we'll go for a proper roadmap for both placement and internships, right? So for placements, like we'll be covering everything. For internships, there are some topics which you won't be needing a lot, like very hard topics, but it's always good to learn those topics beforehand, right? Because uh, for like if you're right now preparing for internship, right, and so you'll be coming towards placement in next year, and then you'll realize that like there's no limit to DSA actually. Like if you go to companies like which have very hard OA, like not even Google and Microsoft, like FAM companies right now, MAN companies don't have very hard DSA rounds. Okay, which I'm just talking relatively. Okay, it might be hard. It is hard. It's not so easy either. But there are companies like say Rubrik, Trilogy that has pure competitive programming based companies, and preparing for their DSA rounds, it's not very straightforward, right? So if you have a decent placement preparation by the time you have completed your internship, uh, say you're in your internship phase and you have completed the complete placement preparation as well, so during placement it will be a lot easier to prepare for companies like that, like Rubrik and other companies. So okay, so like this was a need, and like there are other courses like this, like they are just a course, like they're floating around, so where you can just join and they'll teach you, they give you questions and they leave you. Like if you know this guy Priyansh Agarwal, he has a very good course. His company is called TLE Emulators. So I've been in one of his course, and he teaches really well with other people, and they have really good doubt support as well. So I was inspired by that doubt support to come to this. But the thing is that if you leave doing questions, there's no one monitoring you. So if you just stop at one point, there's nobody coming and motivating you to start doing it again, or like looking behind you and all that. So I'm just trying to make a difference in that. So okay, moving on. So I'll just talk about schedule. So I have picked this from a few other similar ideas. So we'll mostly be having lectures on weekends, right? So Saturday, Sunday we'll be having 1.5 hours to 2 hours lectures, right? And on I was planning this that like I circulated a form, right, based on like what is your understanding of DSA, and there there's a perfect like like 25% people in all four segments, so it's very hard to come up to a single roadmap that fits everyone. So apart from weekend classes, we'll have one extra sort of v- say a remedial class sort of on Wednesdays, where people who understand things a bit slowly or who are very new to this, because I have opened it for almost every year. Like I think someone from first year has also joined, so they'll find it a bit difficult to grasp things, right? And they'll be slower than you, so they can join the remedial or Wednesday classes where I'll go over few things more slowly. Okay, and even if you wish to understand a topic in much greater detail, even you can join, even if you know the main thing, right? So, and apart from that, there'll be a doubt support. So there'll be a Discord channel, and I request all of you to download Discord and know how to use it. Although on beginning of every month, I'll show you how to do it and how to ask doubts. So basically, we'll be creating a thread and tagging me there. So it will be a private thread, and we'll be interacting there. And whatever doubt we have, we either we'll try to resolve it then and there, or we can even jump to a meet or a voice chat or however whatever suits you and helps you understand. And I'll try to be available 24/7. So right now I'm in my 8th semester. I don't really have a course apart from a project, so mostly I'll be here, so you don't have to worry. Okay, anytime you feel you are having a doubt with something, you can just open a new thread, tag me, and I'll be there. Okay, I'll try to be there. Mostly I'm sitting in my room like a caveman, so I'll be there to help you out. So this goes the course structure, sorry, course schedule. And for the course structure, I'll share my screen. All right, I think you can see this. Right. Just give me a second. I will give my attendance. Yeah, sorry for the disturbance. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is the structure that I've planned, and basically I'm trying to cover everything from the beginning towards the end. So I'll just zoom in case it's not visible. Cool. So we are starting with very basic topics, as you can see, like library functions, array string sortings, then some problem solving, then greedy algorithms. Here also we'll do some problem solving, 2 pointer sliding window. And remember, each one of these is a weekend, so basically it's like divided into two different classes. So this is a tentative structure, although, and we might like I might change a few things there based on the needs and like how much time we want to dedicate to each topic. So again, with March we go to these topics, then April, May, and June. So if you see, like I have distributed all the topics, and I'll be giving more details about like what is DP1, DP2, DP3, trees 1, graphs 1, graphs 2. But more or less, these are all the topics that we'll require. If there are any ad hoc topics or something, we might schedule some extra classes in between again to cover those topics as well. Alright, so this is the structure. And again, like there might be some very small topics that you might not be seeing here, but don't worry, I have all those in mind, and I'll be fitting some of those in whatever topics they fit in, right? Say interval problems, so we can see interval problems in greedy algorithms, or something based to say uh, strings, right? String search or something, so we can all fit those in some places later on, right? So I'll be sharing this course structure, but remember that this is a tentative structure and this is subjected to change. cool. Okay, so okay, now I'll talk briefly about like how much is it going to cost you. So what I planned was, say, the first 2 months is going to cost 1,000 per month, right? And last 3 months are going to cost 1,200 per month, right? And basically, if you it actually it will cost on what month you join. So basically, if you are joining on February, for 1,000 per month, all 5 months you just have to pay 1,000. You don't have to go to 1,200 when you reach to March, and likewise. So if you're starting with March, you'll be paying 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. If you're starting with February, you have to pay 5,000, 5 times 1,000 at the start of each month. And at the start of each month, it will be like a sort of, you can say, like a new batch. So again, I'll tell you what all things you do, how do you have to ask doubts, what are tracker sheets, and there'll be a new form floating around before the beginning of every month. So basically allowing you to join at any month that you need. So say the topics in February are too easy for you, so you can just start from March itself, right? And things like those. But what I'll recommend is, even if you find the topics easy, there will be problems around it that I will try to put that are not so easy. Of course, there'll be easy problems for people who are new to this topics, but there will be problems, harder problems on this topic. So even if you know these topics very well, it is always good to practice the harder problems and have a doubt support on that, right? Okay, now again, as I said earlier, like the doubts will be on Discord, and doubt support is entirely based on Discord. So anytime you can just create a thread, I'll add you to the channels. You can create a thread and then you can tag me, we'll discuss your doubts. Might go on a meet, might go on a voice chat, whatever is required, right? So this is essentially what I wanted to talk about. And something else that I want to talk about is, again, a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people texting me about this, like how do you solve a problem, or more specifically, like I get stuck in this problem, then what should I do? Right. So again, it's not bad to see an editorial. An editorial is like explanation of the problem, the solution, explanation of the solution, right? So it's not bad to see an editorial, and when you don't understand the concept, you have to go and see the editorial. And there might be times where you might be seeing editorial for all the problems that you are trying to solve, right? And you don't have to get disheartened. You have to keep learning. Like even when I was learning, say, like I learned to program competitively, so that is how I learned DSA as well. So say when I was learning to solve, say, 1700 rated problem in code forces, right? So first 50, 60 problems I couldn't even solve. Okay, I couldn't even think of. I just got a very small idea. So say first 50 problems, you'll go look at the tutorial, you'll see how they're solving. Okay, you'll look at their implementation. Maybe 40 problems you'll be able to implement, and next you won't be able to implement on your own, or you won't even understand the solution. Leave those problems. Next 50 problems you might get a hint, right? You'll be on the right track, but maybe you're missing some corner cases. Maybe you're uh, how do I say, maybe you're getting wrong answer on certain cases, right? That might go on for next 50 problems as well, but maybe you'll get more accepted on those. You'll get more right answers. But what happens after that, after solving like 150, 170 problems on a certain topic, like I'm just talking about rating for a certain topic, it might be less, it might be more, that depends a lot. So after that it becomes really easy, so you don't have to see the editorial anymore. Might be like you might get stuck for a few problems again, but again it becomes easier than what it was earlier. So what I'll advise you is, again, because this whole thing will be a bit fast paced, because it's we are covering everything from beginning to end. So covering everything in 6 months is not very easy. Okay, it's not impossible as well, because we have the complete roadmap, we have complete list of problems that you need to solve. But again, there will be situations where you won't be able to solve problems. So I just want you to not get disheartened. Okay, I will be there. You can ask your doubts. If you're not understanding a topic, you can ask your doubt. I'll be there. I'll explain you how that thing works. Maybe during doubt I can explain you some topic again in a meet. Okay, so I'm always here. I'm in college as well. I'm not even at home. So, and I don't have any classes either. So you can always expect my support, right? And you have 24/7 doubt support whenever you want. If I'm available, I'll be there, right? So that's all. And again, like I'll float a form. Like a form will be floated every before the start of every month. If you want to join in at that particular month, you'll have the course structure with you, right? I'll put this course structure up, and then you can decide when to join. But again, I recommend you that even if you feel the topics are easy, you should join and at least practice those. You can skip lectures and of course skip remedials, but again practice is what will help you more, right? That's why you see the lectures are just like 2 times a week, and that will be enough, but you'll have ample of problems to solve, and I'll be there to help you if you're not able to solve any. So okay, so in form, make sure, please not make sure you put your personal mail, right, and you put your personal phone number, right? Because every time I add you to a class, or I add you to Discord, or I add you to a tracker sheet, I will add you based on your mail, give you permissions based on that mail. All right, so if you are using some other mail, it might be a problem. Please provide the mail that you are using frequently, that is your primary email, right? Okay, just the last thing. There were a few people in form responses who said that I just know a programming language. So first of all, one thing I want to tell you is that I mostly code in C++. So if you code in any other language, I'm not stopping you. Okay, but just that it will be a bit hard for me to help you with implementation part. Of course, the algorithm part, it won't be a problem because it's not language dependent. But again, the implementations of algorithms is what you'll have to find. I might help you, but again, I will advise you and suggest you to switch to C++. Okay, and next weekend, this coming weekend, January itself, I'll be having a beginner session. Okay, and again, I'll float a form based on how many people need it, then I'll have it. So where if you are a beginner to C++, I will teach you a few things. And if you are one of those people who opted for that, you just know a programming language, again, please join that session. Okay, I'll start from how to compile C++ to some very basic C++ stuff, and then we'll go solving a few problems with C++. Okay, so that will make you a bit comfortable. I'll again then I'll leave you with a lot of very beginner problems for you to practice implementing. And again, if you want to learn more about language, you can always go to HackerRank, and there they have a very good roadmap of like how to use, say, sets in C++, how to use maps in C++, arrays in C++, vectors in C++, and you can always learn those. And again, people who are thinking that okay, I know Python, I want to do it in that, it's fine. Or you are wanting to switch and you are kind of afraid that how do I learn a new language? Don't be afraid, I'll be there. And plus, learning a new language is not so difficult, right? And at some point during your internship or during your placement, you will be asked questions around C++ or object oriented programming concepts, right? So there you'll anyway require like the knowledge of C++, right? So if you are planning to start coding in C++, this is a good time. I'll be there with you. Even for small implementation problems, I'll help you. And even for like technical errors in your machine where you're not able to compile, I'll help you how to resolve those as well. So again, keep in mind, next week we have beginner session. Okay, so Saturday mostly we'll have session, and Sunday we'll try to do some problem solving and maybe hands-on problem solving. So we'll code together, and then I'll be explaining you the solutions. Right. So that's all. Again, remember the importance of form, where you have to put your mail and your phone number. Right. Okay, that's all. Now, like closing everything, I just want to say that in this last year, like I have seen a lot of OAs both on campus and off campus, and I have known like what kind of problems each OA asks. So you can, if you want, you can just ask me like what type of problems this company asks in internship or placement, and I'll be able to give you a rough idea about what to expect. Like, say, if you are preparing for trilogy off campus, you can expect a lot of greedy problems in Bitmask DP. If you are trying to prepare for rubric, okay, you can expect some graph problems, harder ones like transpose graph, Kosaraju, or DP on trees. If you're preparing for Microsoft, prepare a lot of array problems, a lot of binary search problems, trie problems, linked list problems. Those are the absolute favorite. If you're preparing for Google, prepare some DSU. We have DSU in this course as well, and DSU is something that It's not very trivial, but it's very trivial in Google, right? So we'll be preparing DSU. We'll be preparing DSU on trees. It was asked in Google, right? We'll be preparing Dijkstra, multi-source Dijkstra, multi-source BFS. Lot of similar problems. Those are all graph problems. Are very favorite Google problems. Okay, both in on-campus, off-campus, coding, live coding everywhere. So we'll prepare everything. As we solve problems, I'll tell you that okay, these problems were there in this OA. These problems were asked in these companies. There are some direct lead code hard problems that were asked directly in some companies. I I know, like in one Microsoft interview in for my internship, I gave the interview and 2 days later I go to lead code. I find the same problem there. I open the companies, it's written Microsoft. So there are some problems that directly come. Now again, I'll open the forum for Q&A, right, and I'll allow you to use voice chat as well, so you can go on and ask things to me. Right, for people joining right now, there is a their recording will be available to you, and you can always view that. Right now, you can go with your questions and give me a second. I'll open Q&A. Cool. If you want to speak, you can please raise your hand, and I'll ask you to speak. Meanwhile, I'll go over the messages. The course is in CPP. No, I won't say it's in CPP, but I'll say that if you use CPP, it will be easier. Okay. If you use some other language, I will help you, but again, my help in implementing things will be limited. Although I'll still try to help you. Okay, and until we are going over very hard topics, like it will be pretty easy to help you in some other language as well. So you don't need to worry if you know some other language or are wanting to use. But if you're wanting to use CPP or wanting to switch over, I can help you with that as well. And trust me, like using a new language is not so hard. Learning the idea behind solving the problem is harder, right? So like how to approach the problem, how to solve it, how to like do the maths behind the problem, that's harder. Coding, like after you how do you say, like after you have solved a lot of problems, you'll see that if you're taking 40 minutes to solve a problem, 35 minutes will just be for thinking, right? And you'll just take 5 minutes to code the problem, that's all. So coding is not an important thing, right? And again, it's this whole thing is language independent, right? So you need not worry. But if you're wanting to do in C++ or automatic switch, I can help. Hope that answers your question. Okay, Harish, what type of questions can we accept for Amazon SD off-campus internship? Will using Python a drawback? I heard they prefer Java over other language. No, on OAs, basically they don't mind what language you're using. So unless it is in some very random what do you say, OA platform, Amazon is mostly uses HackerRank like a lot of other companies, and so Python won't be a problem. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, and questions. Amazon's OA is actually pretty easy, and I really don't know what goes behind into shortlisting people. So you can expect very easy dynamic programming problems or greedy problems, moderate, easy, moderate, hard, anything, right? Trees might, I think I've seen one very basic tree problem in Amazon OA. Graphs, I don't think so. Okay, so like easy to moderate topics, not very hard. I hope that answers the question. Harish, Harshit, will there be any kind of doubt sessions for specific algos or some problems, and how often it would be possible in a month? Doubt sessions will be possible 24/7. You don't have to worry about that. I am there. If you have a doubt, you ask then and there. We'll just go over it. Apart from that, as I said, like after every class, we'll have like, okay, if you have some doubts, you can stay back and you can talk to me, right? Both regarding this, both regarding last homework. And if there are a lot of problems you are not able, if there are a lot of people who are not able to solve problems or are finding it hard, we can have one random doubt session in a week, right, where you can ask me how to solve certain problems. Or if you're not understanding topics, we can pick more problems and I can do hands-on problem solving on those kind of problems. Okay, so that you get more familiar, or you get familiar with the technique to solve those problems, right? Okay, I hope that also answers the question, Harshit. This thing, how often will it be possible in a month? Don't worry, it will be possible how many times you need it. Aditya Nath, I have a firm grasp on most topics. I wanted to know how any topic would be covered. Could you please give an example of how do you teach a topic to us? Say DP. Okay, so DP, if you see, I have broken down DP into 3 parts. Okay, and that I didn't do for fun. DP is huge. So okay, I have everything written down as well, so I keep writing things. So basically, say I'm teaching you DP. So before teaching you DP, I will teach you recursion, right? Of course, recursion backtracking. When you memorize recursion, you reach DP. So we start with DP, very basic DP problems like memorization, pick not pick DP, linear DP, LCS, LIS, sort of, right? Then, okay, we have three parts in DP, but let's just ignore that for now. Then I go to trees. I teach you basic trees. Then we come back to DP2 and we explore DP on trees. Okay. Then we do more DP problems, right? Then we go into harder trees as well, right? Then we learn DSU. Then we do problems which require DSU on trees with some DP, right? Similarly, after you learn binary search, we come to DP, we learn DP with binary search, right? After you learn both trees hard DP2, then we go to very hard DP concepts like, say, bitmask DP, MCM DP, right? And let's see if we have time to explore something like DP on graphs as well. Then DP on string, subsequence DPs, right? So I have created a proper roadmap around how and like how you'll approach each topic. So we'll do it in the order of increasing difficulty, and I'll try and like I assure you that you'll be covering most of the very important topics that you are going to see, right? So I hope that answers your problem, Adityanath. Okay, okay, thank you. If you can even open your voice and talk to me if you need, if you have any more doubts. Then apart from that, I'll provide the exact breakdown. But again, like for the course structure, it totally depends on how you guys are learning it and how difficult you are finding things. So providing everything right now isn't very wise. And again, like the same course structure, I refactored it a lot of time based on your form responses. So that's a very tentative course structure, but it won't get harder than that you can expect. I might break down a few things to make it easier, but again, it won't get harder than that. What would be the duration of this course? Okay, Khushi, I'll just share my screen once more to show you the course structure. I hope this is visible. Right, so again, we start with easy topics, as you can see. Again, you can always go to the recordings and pause and look at in depth how I'm covering everything. And this thing can be changed based on your inputs as well, so it's not very rigid. Okay, so in February, we basically start problem solving. Okay, and DSA always starts with solving problems and knowing how to implement it well, knowing how to think around it, right? If you know how to think greedy very well, you can always write a DP based on a greedy, right? If you have heard this, like, greedy is a superset of DP. Like, all greedy problems can be solved by DP problems, DP solutions. Then, like this, so we then increase the difficulty a bit, right? So March will be where you can expect a lot of, like, these topics are uh, how do I say, like, very moderate, easy to moderate OAs. You can find all these topics, right? Then we will build a few concepts for the harder topics, and in May and June mostly you'll be learning topics that are very frequently asked in Mang companies, as well in very hard OAs, right? OAs or live rounds, right? So this is the entire structure. Hope this answers the question. I shall stop sharing. Harish is asking, in which platform will be solving problems and what platform will you recommend for placement preparation? Platform, actually, you don't have to worry about platform because we'll use a lot of platforms starting from lead code to code forces to CACS, interview bit, not hacker rank, sorry. And there's some problems on ad coder as well. So I have been solving problems from 2020, and I know, like, where you have to go for each topic. So for DP you have to go to ad coder and lead code. For graphs you have to go to CACS, and for every topic there are some specific set of problems that you can find. Even there are some problems on Spoj around certain topics where we'll go eventually to find good problems. So platform, Don't worry about platform. Also, everyone just make sure you have your own compiler. Don't rely on online compilers like online GDB and stuff. Where your internet goes down, you won't be able to compile, and they have a lot of overhead in compiling. So again, that slows down your learning and implementation both, and that's why I recommend you to have your own compiler setup. Okay, cool. Kushi is asking, also, when do you think our placement interviews are gonna start? Your placement forms will start floating around by May end, June something, right? So you'll have a portal set up. You'll have all the uh, formalities done for placement. I think you might be. Have you guys starting paying for placements? Like they ask you a placement training fee, something, right? Yes. So that started. So for me, it started on February. So after that started, so you'll have a placement training for a few months, right? On weekends mostly. So I'll also be bothering you on weekends. So uh, after that is done, you'll have exams, then you'll go back home for summer, or you'll do an internship. So when you are doing internship, wait, when did my I think the companies started coming on for me June June second week or something. So by that time, the companies will start like coming to the campus, and the whole thing will start only by June end or July early. It will go all year round. What about the internship? Your internship will start by May sometime, and end somewhere around June end or July early. So please choose your internship time well, right? Uh, I had a friend of mine whose internship was clashing with placement, so it became a bit of problem for him, although he got the PPO. Okay, but it still became a problem for him. So please choose your dates wisely, right? And like you can still sit for placements. You don't have to worry. You can just apply for leave in the company, and you can sit for placements. They don't mind. Okay, even if you can even come here in person and attend the interview. They don't mind that either. So don't worry. It will be a little hectic, but uh, again, like if you have already everything prepared, DSA, if you have completely prepared before the internship or before the placement starts formally, it will be very easy to sit for placements without worrying, and you can parallelly do your internship and sit for placements both. So okay, sorry for floating away. Your placements will start by mid of July. Sorry, not mid of July. Mm, Wait, yeah, mid of July. Sorry, by June you'll start having the companies. You'll start getting information about what all companies are coming, and mid of July it will start. Companies start coming from July second week. Yes, July second week. Sorry, June 4 to August 4. Okay, that's your internship date. June 4 to August 4. Okay, it won't be a problem because you will have completed, like, if that's your internship date, is what I'm assuming. You'll have completed most of your internship, so you will be able to sit for placements very easily. So by that time, make sure you have prepared DSA actually. It will help you a lot. But because in the last few days, say you have not prepared and you are both having internship and the companies are coming, you'll have a very hard time. You'll just be lost in dilemma of what to do, prepare for placements or complete the internship properly. So make sure right now you have the time. Make sure you complete the preparation. Okay. Hmm. Okay, I'll write it just formally. July first week to second week. July 1st week to second week, companies start coming. July second week onwards, you enter the process for interviews and OAs. That's why, like, everything that I've planned gets finished by end of June, right? And if you cannot attend the June thing, like, I think Kushi won't be able to attend because the internship is starting. So even if you complete everything up till May, it's still good and good. Like, you'll still be covering more than 50% of the companies with that DSA knowledge. Any more questions about the course or anything? Again, people who joined late, we'll have a beginner session, both for problem solving and language on next weekend. So Saturday I'll be talking about the language and basics, and maybe solve a few problems. Sunday we'll do some hands-on problem solving so that you get familiar both with language. If you want to switch, it's fine. If you don't want to switch, I'm not forcing you. Okay, it's just that I'll be able to help you better. So on Sunday we'll be doing some problem solving and just some friendly competition maybe. Sankarshan is asking, what about the companies with complete online selection process during placements? Yes, what about those? Like, yeah, they'll just everything will happen online. Interviews online. Uh, there's one small problem that you might have to go to their you'll have to go to PAT office for giving the interviews. Like I appeared for media.net and Zomato on campus. So Zomato was offline. For offline, you go to Vellore. They arrange a vehicle. You leave here at 5 in the morning, reach Vellore, give interviews, come back at night. And for companies whose process is online, everything happens online. You're just called to PAT office 9 a.m. in the morning. You sit there in their device and give interview there itself. If you're in an internship, you might have an exception. So you'll be able to give the interviews from wherever you are, in a meeting room somewhere. You can find a peaceful area in your internship and you can give interviews from there. Hope that answers your question. If this was what you were asking, Sankarshan. July 1 to 13. Okay, okay. I know what company it is. Mm. You better consult PAT office about what all companies will be allowed to sit and you won't be allowed to sit. I know someone who has the same internship, so it's better you consult PAT office regarding this. Mm, yeah, but actually you don't have to worry because Apple came right now for us, like a week ago it came. So don't think that July is the prime time. Okay, it's the prime time. Lot of companies do come. Like say, for us, lot less companies came. Like barely like 10, 11 good companies came. Slot one companies, if you say. But again, even in January, February, there are companies that are coming. So don't lose hopes if you are missing or if you're not allowed to sit for those companies. Then okay, you still keep on preparing. And I tell you something, it's not just college. Even after college, for first 1 or 2 years, when you are wanting to switch companies, you'll require DSA. They expect DSA from you even then. Even then, you might be appearing for online assessment, but you'll of course be attending live coding interviews. So there are some friends of mine who wanted to join it in the fourth year, uh, which I'll again support. And even if you ask me what I'm doing right now, even I am learning like very very hard concepts around DSA. Because later, if you want to switch in first 2 years, you can always switch to very good positions. Say in placement, you were not so lucky, and even after learning a lot of DSA, you were not able to crack a very big company, or say not a very big company didn't come. And in placement, you might have some issues with your CGPA as well. So after you just enter the market, okay, IT job market, and then if you have good DSA and you have a referral network, which again won't be really hard if you have good DSA, okay, then you can easily switch between companies and you can reach very good companies. Right there, no one is going to ask you DSA or sorry, no one is going to ask you CGPA and shortlist you based on your CGPA that okay, your CGPA is less, I won't interview you or something. So knowing good DSA is always a good hack for switching companies, even later on, not just in college. Right. Any more questions you want to ask? Again, people, if you want to leave, you can leave. Right. It's very late actually. And the timing of classes and all that I will be asking you. Okay. I'm mostly free. So whatever time you guys are comfortable, we'll keep it in that time. Third years will have their placement training up to 4:30, if I'm not wrong. I don't think it is started right now. So when it starts, we'll see what time we will be keeping the classes. Just Danish is asking, does project matters a lot? Hmm. That depends on the type of company you are interviewing. Okay, if you are interviewing for startup companies off campus, it does require. And not only projects, they might just, you'll have like say project round in interview round, not coding rounds. And they, if even if they have coding round, it will be pretty much a joke, right? So project is required if you're applying for startups off campus. On campus, they will want to see a good project in your resume, but even if you don't have it, they don't really mind if you have a very good DSA. Like from Zomato, you might expect that they, because Zomato is a startup, right? The environment is very fast paced. So I interviewed for Zomato. I even cracked it. So uh, their DSA round was pretty hard actually, right? Even for a startup, it was pretty hard, right? And during the interviews, they were not concerned about my projects a lot. Right? They did ask like, "What did you do? What did you do in that?" But they were just focused about system design, right? Now, system design is something that can be learnt, and it's not very hard to learn. But again, to learn system design, you need a bit background of projects. Not necessarily you should know the complete stack, but if you know a good background, like how do APIs work, how do apps work, how do websites work, it's not so hard to learn system design. I think I learned system design in 1 or 2 weeks that I went home after internship, and it came as a surprise even to me during the interview. But because I had prepared few things around it, it really helped me a lot. Right. So we'll be talking about those too. Don't worry. Even if I say it's just DSA, we will be talking about things for placements and internships. So don't really worry. We'll talk about all these things. How much does CGPA matter? I won't tell you this. Uh, it does matter. Okay. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Right. Depends a lot. It's very hard to judge anything right now, or tell you anything, because again, uh, it depends on a lot of things: strength of people sitting for placements, number of people the company wants, right? So giving you any number or any threshold won't be wise, and it's better if you explore it yourself. But one thing is that if you have, say, if you have a good knowledge, right, and there will be some companies that will again block you for, mostly it won't be company, it will be part office that releases the shortlisting criteria. So it might get a bit sketchy if you don't have the required CGPA. But again, as I said earlier, in the long run, CGPA doesn't even matter, right now, if you just enter the market and slowly, if you know like how to interview better, right, how to interview, what to expect and all, it won't be very hard to climb the ladder and reach a better position in, like, say, 1 or 2 years, right? So okay, be worried about CGPA, but don't focus it on a lot, right? Don't worry a lot, and just keep preparing stuff. And CGPA is something that's not so easy to control, right? Even if you know things, I know, I've seen a lot of people, I've heard from a lot of you. Even if you know things, it's not necessary that you'll get a good CGPA, right? So let's not talk about that. It's an entirely different topic. Hope this answers the question. Okay, we'll take questions for 5 more minutes. Okay, we'll close it by sharp 10. Anything else you want to ask? Again, I'll again reminding you about the uh, beginner session. Okay, that we'll be having on next weekend. I'll again float a form, and of course, I won't be charging you anything for that. Right? It's completely free. Even if you want to hop in, see how do we solve problems. Maybe if a lot of you say there are not a lot of beginners, right, and a lot of you know how to solve problems, maybe we can even do some friendly competition and some hands-on problem solving on some relatively harder problems. Might be fun. Let's see. Will the session be recorded in case we miss one? Sessions we recorded. Actually, that's pretty. This one is being recorded, but those sessions actually, Aditya, there is one problem with it, that how do I compel only. How do I compel this that this recorded sessions are only shared with you guys, right? I don't have a very good solution for that. So sadly, I won't be recording it until I find some concrete solution. That's why I'll have one Wednesday sort of remedial classes. So if you have missed, you can again join, and I'll quickly go through things. Or even if that's not enough, You can always ask me doubts, and if you miss something, I'll try to help you as much as I can, even if you miss the classes. Don't worry. Uh, what is the course fee? Yeah, you missed that, right? So for first 2 months it's 1,000 a month, and for next 3 months it's 1,200 per month. But you have a retainer discount. That means whatever month you join, say you joined in first 2 months, so for the next 3 months as well, you'll be just paying 1,000 and not 1,200. So I'll put that in course structure as well. So don't worry about that. Uh, okay. Should we do CP and DSA together? uh, CP is CP does help in DSA. Okay, and what you'll be doing here will be a good blend of both CP and DSA, right? It won't be just lead code problems. It won't be just standard problems. We'll be solving some twisted problems around the same topic. I'll explain you how to think about those. So, should you do CP right now if you have placements in 3 months? No. Should you just do DSA? Again, I'll say a no, because doing just DSA won't help you solve twisted problems. You should do a very perfect blend, and we will come across those. We'll try to find those, and we'll go over those in this complete thing. Hope this answers your question. Again, you don't have to worry. Okay, we have both standard problems for you to learn the concepts, then twisted problems to know how problems on those topics appear. Right, lot of variations. So when you're doing graphs, when you're doing Dijkstra, you'll find lots of variations of Dijkstra. Okay, but if you know how to think about that algorithm, it won't be hard to solve problems no matter how twisted they are. Right. So we'll explore everything in this complete course. And I'm not exactly wanting to call this a course, but it's sort of a guided training, because I'll be looking after you as well. It's not just I'll just teach and run away. I think a few of you were asking this indirectly. Not here, somewhere else. Cool. If you have any more problems, you can drop down, or we'll be closing the meet in the next minute. Again, I'll be sharing you the course structure. Okay, the exact structure I won't be revealing until the start of the month, like say what is there in DP1, DP2, DP3, because that depends on a lot of things. How well are you learning? How well are you understanding? Again, if you are not understanding things, you can always come to me. If you feel it is fast paced, you can ask me. If a lot of people feel it is fast paced, I'll slow it down, I'll change the structure. Okay, so you need not worry, just sit back, but don't relax. Work hard with me. There are a lot of things you have to cover. We'll be solving a lot of problems. Every topic requires you to solve at least 20-30 problems, where half or less than half will be standard, other half will be twisted. There are insane amount of things to cover for DSA. Okay, and like if you stay enough together, and if you stay consistent, if you're not afraid of solving a lot of problems, we might as well pull it off. Thank you. Yeah, I felt actually a junior of mine told me that either you're just having a DSA course, or you're having very hard CP courses, like I talked about TLE emulators. A blend of DSA plus CP will be very necessary for placements, because earlier placements used to just be very standard DSA problems, like you might have seen the meme, I don't know how to invert a binary tree, right? So earlier we were just asked those kind of problems, but right now you cannot even find some standard concept in problems. It is mostly going towards CP from DSA due to the competition, and you have to adapt. And if you're not doing CP, it's really hard to adapt to that, because once you do CP, you see it's a totally different world. You don't even find any standard thing there, and these people expect a blend, and you cannot get the exact blend until you do CP. So for non-CP people, it's almost a nightmare to sit in placements, right? And again, when the placements start, it becomes a bit disappointing and depressing as well if you're not getting placed, right? So let's just work this out together. And again, I had been wanting to do this course from a long time, let's hope everything goes well. And again, like Pranav says, "Aap questions they ask no, not even in Google." Pranav, they were on code forces though. Or on lead code. But see, for slot one companies, you'll be always be called to pat office. Okay, so if you are aiming for very good companies, even if they are on Google, even if they are directly on lead code, doesn't even matter. You won't be able to see. Like I know this problem cherry picking from lead code hard DP. I think yeah, it came directly exact copy paste in Zomato OA. Then there is this string DP problem, hard string DP, directly copy paste lead code to media.net OA in Pat Office. We'll be going over all these problems. Okay, I have a catalog of problems. I know like what kind of problems are asked where. So every time we learn a topic, we'll go over those, right? And we'll be studying according to those. Let's see. Half on the right road. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I know. Alright, guys, thank you for joining. I'll upload the recording on maybe YouTube and I share the link. I'll pray to the Lord of Internet that this upload happens early enough. Okay, due to the hostel Wi Fi. Let's see. Okay, thank you for joining. If you have further questions, you can always use the group, right? Bye. Thank you.